On the afternoon of July 18, 2025, a sudden downpour swept through Shanghai. Within just a few hours, many roads in the city became flooded, with areas like Jiuting Street and Xinzhuang Industrial Park experiencing severe waterlogging, as the city was suddenly plunged into sea view mode. Commuters and delivery workers had to struggle through the floodwaters. The public complained, saying every time it rains heavily, there's urban waterlogging, and it's getting worse. Light rain causes light flooding, heavy rain causes heavy flooding. They only do superficial projects with money, but no one manages the city's drainage system for waterlogging. Not only Shanghai, but also Changchun City in Jiuting province was hit heavily by rain, resulting in severe urban waterlogging. Streets quickly turned into rivers, with many vehicles submerged and storefronts flooded, causing heavy losses for residents. According to Chinese media reports, municipal authorities deployed powerful water pumps and drainage vehicles to remove the floodwaters from the scene.
Look at this car, it's gone. There's no trace of it, it's floating away. The water on Shanghai Road is so high, it's up to the waist.
Netizens were full of comments. It seems like there's an issue with the design of the sewage system. Every year they dig and fix, but not only have the waterlogged areas from previous years not improved, the problem has actually expanded. Some netizens sarcastically remarked, "I heard Changchun's drainage system was pretty good, but this time it's mainly because it rained." On the morning of July 18, 2025, Shenzhen was suddenly hit by heavy rain due to Typhoon Wifa. The city was plunged into darkness in an instant, and a heavy rain emergency defense status was activated. The meteorological department issued the first red alert for heavy rain this year. After the torrential downpour, many roads were severely flooded, with some areas having water levels up to half a meter deep. Pedestrians were forced to wade through the water with difficulty. A video circulating online shows a drainage gate spraying water like a fountain. Netizens suggest that this could be due to rainfall far exceeding the drainage capacity of the pipes. The rapid rise in water levels in the downstream network caused the drainage grate to malfunction, and the pressure difference led to backflow, resulting in the fountain phenomenon. The arrival of the rainy season every year, along with the persistent urban waterlogging, has caused significant economic losses for city residents in China, leading to widespread public dissatisfaction. As a concealed infrastructure, the underground drainage system does not offer the visible glamour that skyscrapers do, and thus is often overlooked by Communist Party officials focused on political achievements. Some say that a heavy rain tests a city, but more importantly, it's a moral examination of the city's administrators. Just a few days ago, strong rainfall caused by a typhoon hit areas such as Xiamen, Quanzhou, Fujian, and Zhangzhou in Fujian. The continuous rainfall, combined with river backflow, led to severe urban waterlogging. The bustling Zhongshan Road pedestrian street in Xiamen experienced severe flooding. A certain underground parking lot was inundated with rainwater, submerging vehicles. The elevator shaft turned into a waterfall. State media reported that traffic in Xiamen was severely disrupted, with roads heavily flooded. Major roads, including Xiang'an Bridge and Huandao Road, suffered severe congestion, with some sections submerged by over 30 centimeters of water. Areas such as Siming and Huli experienced water backflow, flooding low-lying residential areas. Netizens jokingly remarked, "You need to swim to go outside." Videos circulating online show severe water accumulation inside the Haicang Tunnel, with vehicles wading through the water. The underwater tunnel, 6,300 meters long, connects Huli District and Haicang District, with its deepest point about 73.6 meters below sea level. The tunnel ceiling has suffered significant water leakage, forming a waterfall. Videos circulating online show a once bustling street in Quanzhou, lined with shops on both sides, where the ground floors of buildings were submerged by thick yellow water, rising several tens of centimeters. Many cars were left submerged, scattered, and damaged by the flood. Some people were seen struggling to wade through the water while riding electric bicycles. At the exit of this railway culvert, cars were submerged by water, causing the engines to stall. The owners tried to push their cars forward, but they couldn't move. Aerial footage shows extensive flooding on urban roads, with delivery drivers in yellow clothing wading through the water while carrying their items. Many cars were submerged in the floodwaters. The recent wave of urban waterlogging in Fujian has been the most severe in Xiamen. The Zhongshan Road pedestrian street, a commercial area, was heavily flooded, with shops on both sides submerged. Interestingly, the drainage system in the Zhongshan Road area had just been upgraded and renovated 4 years ago. According to state media, the Zhongshan Road area began its overall renovation and upgrade in July 2020, and the project was completed in April 2021. The main focus of the renovation was the update of the drainage system, which reportedly cost several hundred million yuan. Designer Zhang Ye had previously made a public video, confidently stating that after the upgrade, the system would be able to withstand a once-in-a-50-years flood and prevent waterlogging.
Let's test the condition of our drainage system. We had to set up a concealed drainage channel in the middle of the road. This channel is connected to our original large municipal drainage system. At the same time, we will clear the silt from the existing major municipal pipelines. This way, we can ensure the drainage capacity for a once-in-a-50-years heavy rain.
Previously, the designer had posted a video saying the aim was to ensure that heavy rains wouldn't even dampen shoes.
Actually, Zhongshan Road has long suffered from waterlogging and poor drainage. What we are doing now is essentially an experiment. The drainage in the future will rely on the gaps between the stone slabs in the middle of the road to drain the water. During heavy rain, we aim to prevent rain from even wetting shoes.
However, just 4 months later, the claims were proven wrong. According to reports from multiple media outlets, severe flooding occurred near the Zhongshan Road commercial area from August 1st to 2nd, 2021. Areas like Binghai Street and Zhongshan Road were severely flooded, with water levels exceeding knee height in some sections, and even fountains of water emerging from manhole covers. Streets briefly transformed into water streets. In areas that had undergone drainage system upgrades, there was even flooding severe enough to sail a boat. On August 3rd, 2021, the Xiamen Meteorological Station issued a red heavy rain alert, reporting over 100 millimeters of rainfall within 3 hours, a level considered a once-in-a-4 to 10-year event. Many citizens remarked they said the system could withstand floods once every 50 years and prevent waterlogging. But now, after a once-in-a-10-year flood, we're setting sail. Does the drainage system just stop working? Netizens also sarcastically commented, "I wonder how the designer of Zhongshan Road's drainage system feels after seeing this scene. They certainly did prevent the road from wetting shoes, but instead, the shoes are soaked." 4 years later, Zhongshan Road's commercial street still suffers from waterlogging, turning into a water street. Ironically, the Zhongshan Park area at the northern end of Zhongshan Road just completed its waterlogging control project in June this year. Public information reveals that the project aims to enhance the region's flood resistance during the flood season. Urban waterlogging is not an issue unique to these cities in Fujian province. It's a common problem in nearly every city across China. According to statistics from China's Flood Control and Drought Relief Command, since 2000, China has faced an average of over 200 urban waterlogging incidents of varying degrees each year. The CCP's Ministry of Housing and Urban Rural Development conducted a survey on waterlogging in 351 cities, finding that 62% of cities experience waterlogging at least 3 times a year, with 57 cities reporting waterlogging lasting more than 12 hours. Flooding disasters cause significant casualties, and direct economic losses are no less than 100 billion yuan annually. Here are a few noticeable recent incidents of urban waterlogging. On July 20th, 2021, Zhengzhou City in Henan Province experienced severe waterlogging. The Metro Line 5 was flooded due to water backflow, trapping more than 500 passengers between Shakou and Haitansi stations. Official reports stated that 14 people died and 5 were injured. On the same day, flooding in the Xinzhuang Road tunnel trapped vehicles, with official reports claiming 6 deaths. However, there was widespread suspicion that the death toll was underreported. From July 31st to August 1st, 2023, Jiuting City in Hebei Province faced severe waterlogging, with up to 60% of the urban area flooded. The average water depth was 1 to 1.5 meters, and in some areas it reached 5 to 6 meters. On June 29th of this year, Rongjiang County in Guizhou Province suffered severe waterlogging, affecting over 70% of the urban area. More than 103,000 people were affected, with 41,500 urgently relocated. Infrastructure was severely damaged. The frequent occurrence of severe urban waterlogging can be attributed to various factors, the most direct and absurd being fraudulent drainage projects.
This rainwater well and drainage pipe are like this. Fake. No wonder it floods as soon as it rains.
This footage is taken from a residential community in Dangshan County, Anhui Province, showing the rainwater collection well and sewage pipeline project. The so-called rainwater collection well only has a lid, and beneath the lid is just solid earth. There are no drainage pipes installed at all. Netizens have shared similar situations they captured, revealing that such projects are common across the country. In a residential community in Shenyang, Liaoning, flooding occurred due to heavy rain, prompting the property management to send workers to repair the sewage pipes. However, when they lifted them manhole cover, they discovered that the so-called sewage well only had an empty cover. The homeowner recorded a video and stated they would post it online. Upon noticing this, the team leader hurriedly instructed the workers to cover the manhole again. A few days ago, a video shot by netizens showed a sewage project along a street in Xinyi City, Guangdong Province. The pipeline was buried underground, but was abruptly cut off in the middle and did not connect to any other drainage facilities. This drainage project was purely cosmetic and served no functional purpose. The netizen captioned the video with the CCP's propaganda song, "Without the Communist Party, there would be no new China." A truly ironic gesture. Of course, the frequent urban waterlogging incidents are largely attributed to the outdated and inadequate drainage systems in cities. China's standards for urban drainage systems are low. In 62% of cities, the design standards are typically below the once-in-3-year frequency, with most cities designed for a 1 to 2-year occurrence. Only a few major cities have drainage systems with a design standard of once in 2 to 3 years, which is far below Tokyo's 5 to 10-year standard. The low design standards, combined with the prevalence of shoddy construction, exacerbate waterlogging issues. In particular, the drainage facilities in older districts have not been upgraded in time, resulting in inadequate drainage capacity. Urbanization has led to an increase in the area of impervious surfaces, such as rooftops, roads, and parking lots, which reduces the infiltration of surface water and increases surface runoff. In urban areas, the surface runoff coefficient generally ranges from 0.4 to 0.52, while in suburban areas it is only about 0.2. In recent years, the pace of urbanization in China has accelerated, leading to the expansion of impervious surfaces, and the drainage system design standards remain low, with quality generally concerning. Over the past 20 years, the urban population has increased from 460 million in 2000 to 950 million in 2024, and the urbanization rate has risen from 36% to 67%. This trend is closely tied to tax reforms and the commercialization of housing, China's accession to the World Trade Organization, and the expansion of real estate development. Land sales have become a pillar of local government finances. In 2021, national land transfer revenue reached 8.7 trillion yuan, accounting for 43% of the general public budget income. In Chinese housing prices, taxes and government administration fees make up about 70%, with land costs and taxes included. China's manufacturing industry grew rapidly after joining the WTO in 2001, becoming the global manufacturing center, with the added value of manufacturing reaching 31.4 trillion yuan in 2021, accounting for over 30% of the global total. The number of migrant workers also increased from 120 million in 2000 to 297 million in 2023, becoming the main force behind urbanization. Local Communist Party governments have driven the real estate industry, widely seizing private wealth, but have mainly focused on superficial achievements. Long-term projects like drainage systems have been neglected. The urban heat island effect and rain island effect have led to higher temperatures, an increase in the frequency of heavy rainfall, and an amplified risk of flooding. The urban heat island effect refers to the phenomenon where urban areas, due to human activities and the concentration of building materials, accumulate more heat, causing temperatures to be higher than in surrounding suburban areas. The rain island effect occurs because of the city's terrain, emissions, and thermal disturbances, which cause rainfall to be more concentrated and intense in urban areas. These two effects compound, exacerbating the intensity and frequency of heavy rains, and when combined with poorly designed urban drainage systems, have led to frequent and severe urban waterlogging in Chinese cities in recent years. Another factor contributing to the frequent urban waterlogging incidents is the release of floodwaters from reservoirs upstream during heavy rainfall, which exacerbates the waterlogging. Under the Chinese Communist Party's management system, the safety of reservoirs is typically part of the government's safety and responsibility assessment, which is tied to officials' performance and promotion. However, it is important to note that while local government officials, as reservoir managers, are responsible for the safety of reservoirs, they are not held accountable for the safety of citizens' lives and property. The safety of citizens' lives is not part of the officials' performance evaluations. Therefore, during extreme weather events such as heavy rains, officials often prioritize flood release to protect the reservoir dam. As a result, reservoirs, widely distributed across the country in various sizes, often become the source of disaster for the surrounding communities when the rainy season arrives. lives. For example, the severe waterlogging disaster in Zhengzhou City on July 20th, 2021 was closely related to flood discharge from upstream reservoirs. Zhengzhou experienced extreme heavy rainfall, with a 24-hour precipitation of 624 millimeters. At 10:30 a.m. on 20th, the Xinzhuang Reservoir in Zhengzhou initiated flood discharge. Located less than 5 kilometers from the city center, the combined effect of the flood discharge and rainfall caused severe waterlogging in the downstream areas of Jingguang Tunnel and Wuzhou Park. Because the flood discharge information was not communicated to the public in a timely manner, some areas were flooded without warning, leading to casualties. The Sponge City project, which Zhengzhou had invested 53.5 billion yuan in, also failed to effectively prevent waterlogging. The flooding in Jiuting in 2023 was also directly related to reservoir flood discharge. After Typhoon Doksuri made landfall in late July 2023, there was intense rainfall in the upstream areas of Beijing's Mengtougou and Fangshan districts, causing the Juma and Yongding rivers to surge. Multiple reservoirs, including the Guangding Reservoir and Wangkwai Reservoir, released floodwaters, with the discharge far exceeding normal levels. As a result, many areas in Zhuozhou, located downstream of the Yongding River, were flooded, with severe waterlogging in the basements, ground floors of residential buildings, and streets. From June to July 2020, during the southern China plum rain season, reservoir flood discharges from places like Poyang Lake in Jiangxi, Hefei, and Nanchang exacerbated urban waterlogging. Many medium-sized reservoirs in Jiangxi and Anhui began flood discharge to cope with the upstream water. Cities like Nanchang, Hefei, and Jiuting experienced severe urban waterlogging. Against the backdrop of continuous heavy rainfall, the flood discharge raised the water levels of surface runoff around the cities, causing drainage system outlets to experience backflow. Underground parking lots and subway passages in residential areas were flooded, leading to traffic paralysis. Severe urban waterlogging is also closely related to the pervasive issue of corruption in infrastructure projects. Municipal projects, especially those involving drainage, sewage systems, and underground pipelines, often referred to as concealed projects, are prime areas for local officials to extract benefits. Unlike visible projects like schools, plazas, and image projects, underground infrastructure requires significant investment, but its results are hard to quantify, making it difficult for the public to assess the quality and cost. The companies responsible for these projects often have deep ties with local authorities. Before the bidding process, a pre-designated contractor is already chosen, and the bidding is merely a formality. Once awarded, the contracting companies further subcontract the project, ultimately squeezing the profit margin down to the final construction team. At the top, officials often inflate project costs, use low-quality materials at high prices, and fabricate quantities to siphon off public funds, returning kickbacks to officials according to unwritten rules. According to an analysis of numerous corruption cases by Peking University management expert He Zhengke, corruption costs in China's engineering sector typically account for around 10% of the total project investment, with some places seeing figures as high as 20% or more. Local officials in China are appointed by higher-level party organizations rather than elected by the public. Promotions for these officials are typically based on their ability to deliver benefits upward. As a result, their focus is often on managing projects to advance personal and organizational goals, which can lead to seeking higher positions. In addition, social oversight is often limited. When the public identifies issues, such as project quality concerns, financial mismanagement, or corruption, and attempts to raise these issues, local governments may respond by addressing the concerns in a way that discourages further questioning. This may involve actions like limiting media investigations or censoring information on social media. This can create a cycle where those who attempt to oversee or report issues may face consequences. The frequent urban waterlogging incidents in China are often related to engineering quality and planning issues. These challenges are influenced by broader systemic factors, which may include the management and governance of these projects.